WHAS 11 Weather First.
Well, some good news for Kentuckiana on this Sunday night. The recent bitter cold is almost over and a defrost is on its way. You're looking live over the city of Louisville as it hunkers down for one more cold night. Thanks so much for joining us here on the night team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Meteorologist Alden German is taking a closer look at the current temperatures. And Alden, the warm-up is coming, but also with it is some rain.
That's correct, and thankfully it's not going to be quite as cold, and maybe our wallets can get a little bit of a rest too later on this week. Currently 21 degrees here in the metro with a wind chill value of 12, so it is cold out there again, but not nearly as intense as it was last night when some of us had our air temperatures dropping below zero. Now we see our wind chill values largely in the teens, and that's thanks partially to a wind out of the southeast, bringing in some slightly milder air and some high clouds overhead, keeping our temperatures a little bit more elevated. So not quite as cold tonight, and frankly, we're going to be holding relatively steady where we are right now. Those winds are also going to be somewhat light tonight, so our wind chill values aren't going to be dropping too excessively low again like last night, and then it's going to be feeling pretty nice heading into tomorrow afternoon, at least comparatively speaking. But our attention is going to be back to the west, where we're going to be watching the potential to see a little bit of a wintry mix or some light icing before we see all of that rain roll through for most of this upcoming work week. Ahead, I'll break down when exactly I expect us to see some of that heaviest rainfall. Alex.
Thank you, Alden. And as weather is once again expected to be cold tonight, Operation White Flag is still in effect. Several organizations have opened up temporary shelters to take in extra people in need of a warm place to stay, and that includes the South End Street Angels. They've been working in South Louisville at Hope International AOH Church of God. In just 7 days, South End Street Angels leader Amanda Mills says volunteers have helped 6 people enter recovery treatment programs, 1 person find permanent housing, and has overseen 32 housing assessments.
I think I made a difference. And they're truly grateful, and they've done amazing. We haven't had any major incidents this week at all. In fact, the police came and brought donations. And so it's just been truly amazing.
Friday was the last day for the South End Street Angels pop-up shelter. However, TARC is offering free rides to anyone who needs shelter. And as people across Louisville look to stay warm tonight, one family is saying goodbye to their home of 70 years after a devastating house fire this week. Those who lived in the home, 3 siblings, say it happened Tuesday off Scotts Gap Road near Valley Station. They're speaking with our Connor Steffen and photojournalist Aspen Hester tonight as they look to rebuild but feel stuck with nowhere to turn.
In Valley Station, through the icy cold air sits a blistering hot reminder.
Hopefully we'll have a place to stay soon.
The remnants of what once stood for 70+ years. Family says it's all the 3 Snotter siblings have ever known. Do you think they're scared?
Yes, because this is where they know. They never left this land. Never.
Still ripe with the smell of billowing smoke, this is what their house looked like Tuesday.
We barely made it up because of smoke and the heat and the fire.
Garney Snyder describes the moment he and his brother, both in their 70s, helped their younger sister escape.
And then the fire started on the couch, and then I started hollering for them to get out as fast as they could because I knew we were in danger.
When the fire started, they was barefooted. No shoes on their feet, no jacket.
Their great-niece Christina says the fire started because of an electrical wiring mishap.
Inside the house, the floor has become a burnt time capsule of sorts. A window into the memory this family still holds. You still see album covers, records. The family says this is all they have left.
Yep, this is all they have left. Really sad.
Christina says her great-uncles and aunt don't have insurance, making rebuilding on their family land close to impossible without community support.
Yeah, I want to keep this land and try to find some place to live on. I don't know what it's going to be yet.
Because they always thought they was going to die on this land. And that's what they want. And that's what they're afraid. You know, they're afraid that they're not going to be here.
She's pleading for neighbors to help however they can.
Anything, they need any and everything. Windows, electrical, whatever. You know, I just want them to have their home back, you know.
As the family reminisces on what was, there's hope for what could be, bolstered by a community that cares for one another. In Valley Station, Connor Steff in the WHAS11 night team on your side.
The Snotter family is accepting community donations. If you're looking to help, you can find a link to donate on our website. You can just head to WHAS11.com and click the local news tab to find the story. The Kentucky Science Center was forced to close down today after pipes burst in the facility. In a release sent this morning, the Science Center said that a water main broke overnight. They tell us just after 4 this afternoon that repairs have already been made and they will be back open tomorrow. This weekend, Mike's Car Wash offered free car washes after salt and brine has been coating the roads for several days now. While the salt and brine has made the roadways clear and safe to drive on, it can also cause damage to cars, rusting them the longer it's on. Organizers say that's one reason why it's so important to get a car wash after the cold weather.
Salt, it's a corrosive. It's going to eat away at the paint and the different materials on the car. So going through the car wash gets all that salt off the car. The wash, the Ultimate with ceramic, does include an underbody wash, so that flushes all the salt from the underside of the car, so that all those moving parts underneath don't corrode or rust or anything like that.
Today's free car wash was in celebration of Mike's Car Wash opening a new location. They partnered with USAA Cares and collected donations to help the organization to help veterans find jobs. 3 shootings happened this evening in Louisville, all within hours of one another. One man is left dead in one of the shootings that happened right outside 4th Street Live. Just before 4 this afternoon, police were dispatched to 4th Street and Liberty to reports of a shooting. When officers arrived, they found a man had been fatally shot. Right now, there are no known suspects. LMPD is also investigating after 2 people were shot right here in the Shawnee neighborhood. Police say at 4:45 they responded to the shooting at South 39th Street but were unable to locate a victim. About half an hour later, 2 people arrived to the U of L hospital with gunshot wounds. Police were able to determine the 2 victims were shot in the 39th Street scene. LMPD says both victims are expected to survive. Then just after 6:45 this evening, police responded to reports of a shooting on West Market Street. When officers arrived, they found a man with multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he is expected to survive. Anyone with any information about any of these 3 shootings is encouraged to call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. With just 2 days to go before the New Hampshire primary, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced today that he is suspending his presidential campaign. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more from New Hampshire.
Tonight, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who had been trailing behind former President Donald Trump and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, suspending his campaign for president. The decision coming ahead of Tuesday's consequential primary in New Hampshire. DeSantis making the announcement on this video posted to X.
If we don't have a clear path to victory, accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
Trump touting the endorsement during a rally.
As you know, he left the campaign trail today at 3 p.m. and in so doing, he was very gracious and he endorsed me, so I appreciate it. I appreciate that, and I also look forward to working with Ron and everybody else to defeat crooked Joe Biden.
Nikki Haley wishing DeSantis well.
I want to say he ran a great race. Having said that, it's now 1 fella and 1 lady left.
Now, the 2-person race that Nikki Haley and Donald Trump had always framed is officially a showdown. A new CNN University of New Hampshire poll shows Donald Trump topping Nikki Haley by 11 points. In order to gain ground on Tuesday, Haley will look to moderates and independents who could swing the state her way. Donald Trump, though, leaning on his momentum from his Iowa win, looking to tighten his grip on the lead here in New Hampshire by way of his loyal base.
As I believe in him, I believe in his policies.
And former President Donald Trump is now fundraising off this latest endorsement from Ron DeSantis, saying it's time to unite as a party and defeat Joe Biden. Nikki Haley, on the other hand, insisting that she is still very much in this race, but time is running out as she looks to edge out former President Donald Trump. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams is pushing back against his own party's effort to eliminate 3 days of early voting in the Commonwealth. Adams urged lawmakers this week to not go backwards as he defends the no-excuse in-person early voting. The current law allows Kentuckians to go to the polls the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before an election.
It would be catastrophic going into a presidential election with very high turnout anticipated to take away 3 of our 4 voting days. It will be challenge enough to shoehorn an expected 2 million voters into 4 days. I don't know how we would fit this many voters into just 1 day without major problems.
Right now, a bill filed in the Senate is looking to end the early voting days. Republican Senator John Schickel, the bill's lead sponsor, has been promoting the bill on the Senate floor as it waits for a hearing in committees.
I say, and my constituents, many who I represent, say, Election Day is special. I would even say sacred. That is why it was established to be special. So those who say that we should worship at the altar of convenience and casualness, I say voting is a privilege, and it's an awesome responsibility that should never be taken as an afterthought.
Right now, the measure has drawn support from at least 6 Republicans who are co-sponsoring the bill.